Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, Donald Trump is very likely going to win this election. If Joe Biden stays in, if Joe Biden stays in, he's done. He's done because one by one, every day, the Democratic Party is losing more and more support. And it doesn't matter how much you whine and cry, democracy is at stake. It's that people know your 8-year talking points. We are not dumb. This is a Democrat slogan, a subtitle for Biden 2024. The campaign slogan, Save Democracy, replacing Build Back Better. And in fact, we know things aren't built back better. We rather settle with put it back the way you found it. And that's what Americans want. And that's why they're going to vote for Trump in 2024. So we're going to go ahead and talk about Donald Trump's best performance. And then again, do you think, oh, you're saying that you think this is the overall prediction for 2024? No, this is Donald Trump's very best as of right now. Of course, and I'll go over my personal decision later, but this is going to be using polls and demographics from RCP average from Real Clear Polling. So we have the no toss-up states, and very well we have a great lead in the swing states. You'll see Pennsylvania. Trump is at 4.50%. That is thanks to multiple polls from Signal, the Signal poll right here, Signal, Remington Research at 5, and then you have Bloomberg at 7, Bloomberg Consult giving him 7. Yes, it's pretty much over for Joe Biden in this state, and we could possibly defeat and get close to a 6.5. This is Biden's closest, and I would love to see that happen. But going there, you have Pennsylvania, Georgia. It went down a little bit, 3.7, but I have faith that we are going to get it back. That is specifically because of the polls, the less polls Trump is gaining by. He went all the way up because he got 6, he got 7, he got another 6, he got an 8, he got 2 8s, 3 8s, another 6. So, yeah, he was understandably all the way at like 5 points. But then he's been fluctuating around 4%. Then he slid back down to 4. Yeah. And I believe he's going to get back up. He's going to get back up there. Definitely. Georgia, Nevada is at a 4.6. Arizona is at a 5.4. Yeah, it's not looking good for Biden. Wisconsin, it was at a 2, but a Biden poll went in today. This is probably the highlight for them, giving Biden 3. And yeah, Trump was originally at 2, but now it's 150. Yeah, Wisconsin so far is the battle state. And yes, Biden gained another poll, giving him 5 in Michigan. It's just, geez, look at that. He was originally at 2 point. He was originally at 1. He dropped all the way down 0.6. So yeah, when it comes to Michigan and Wisconsin, yeah, this is specifically Michigan. I would like to see. There's some hopes for Biden in when it comes to these Bloomberg consult polls, but anyways, Trump's ultimate best. Here's what it's going to look like. If Trump's going to do his ultimate best, he's going to be carrying the same states he carried in 2016. Thus said, carrying every state in 2020. And we're not doing terms of margin. Make it simple today. But yes, this is Michigan. Yes, this is very much it's going to look like. And what I think how it's going to look like, well, not how I think, but what, according to polls, we're going to be doing points that are states that are less than, let's just say, less than 5. Starting off with Maine. Now, adding the two polls together, this is an 11 point for Biden. 1 point that is like giving Biden the edge of a 12-point victory. -12 it's going to be 6, but yeah, we'll probably leave Maine. It's probably an RCP average of 6 or an RCP average of 5 for Biden. But looking at New Hampshire, though, New Hampshire would be sure to flip. What we're seeing with RCP average right now. Okay, you'd be like, yeah. There's only been a couple polls so far. You got most of them being Biden polls. Trump got his first poll thanks to St. Anselm, giving him a +2. But then again, this is a Biden +3. But yeah, let's just say those Trump Biden haters altogether don't vote and they just stay home, or they just go for Kennedy, because that is a state I would think, and I would expect Kennedy to enjoy his best. He's probably going to pick up a lot of libertarian votes, seeing that we got a woke activist as a nominee for the libertarians. I would expect more New Hampshire libertarians to kind of branch off and probably take Kennedy. And if that is the case, you would expect and you would see Trump barely win in the state. So we give specifically the district, basically New Hampshire, to Donald Trump. We can conclude Maine will go for Biden. We're going to go ahead and call these Democrat states. Now, Virginia is actually going to go for Trump. And here is why. We got more and more polls suggesting it's going to be a tie. And in very well what we've seen in 2021, where, this is why I really want Glenn Youngkin to be the running mate. Because if Glenn Youngkin is the running mate, and I don't think he is going to be, because he went to Chesapeake, Virginia after the debate, and I was like thinking, oh, he's going to Chesapeake, he's probably going to choose Youngkin. And he didn't choose anyone because he didn't intend to do his running mate pick yet. But I'm thinking, you know what? If you were in Virginia, you'd probably announce it, but you never know. But I'm just telling you, Youngkin would be a strategically great, a strategic pick when it comes to nominees and running mates, because he's the governor of Virginia, and we know he has a strong voting record. He won the governor's race in Virginia, defeating a former governor of Virginia, and he defeated him by 2 points. So bringing Virginia, putting Youngkin on the ticket, would possibly mean Virginia. We could see a lot of polls seeing Virginia go red, and this would ultimately put Virginia into a Trump state in the end of the day. So Donald Trump's best, he would definitely carry the state of Virginia. A lot of people say it's a blue state, because then again, Virginia is it's a moderate centrist. It goes with the flow. It goes where the popular opinion goes. In 2020, it was Biden. all in for Biden. In 2016, it was a mixture, but more popular with Hillary Clinton. You got 2012, Obama slightly more popular. 2008, Obama's popular. And then we got George Bush in 2004. 2000, you got George Bush, even though Al Gore won the popular vote. But and was predicted to win overall. But yes, there's Virginia. Yeah, we'll say Illinois. Definitely going blue. Minnesota will go red for Trump. Reason being, now I believe strongly that Virginia has a higher chance of going for Trump than Minnesota. And here's the reason for that. Minnesota is a state where its population is centered in one area, and that is the Twin Cities. So essentially, it means you have an easier, enjoyable time and chance to gather up those votes from the in the metro area. You essentially just need to campaign into the metro area and just hope that the other areas of the state follow you. But then again, and again, guys, that Minneapolis St. Paul metropolitan area, the stats say 67% Democrat. And as long as 67% Democrat, then you could see Democrats win in around the 50% margin. Not a 50% margin, but in the 50% number range. And that is something we really need to be concerned about. We think Trump has the most higher chance of flipping Minnesota thanks to the Somali vote. They're most likely not going to vote in the Senate election, or if so, they would vote for Cornel West. They would, and then we have just the populist left in general in Minneapolis, St. Paul, that area. And overall, I think that overall will very well benefit Trump overall if these parties and these groups didn't get involved. Keith Ellison barely won the attorney general race thanks to the populist left, thanks to the Somali vote, because Keith Ellison is a Muslim, despite being a cradle Catholic and converting to Islam. He still successfully won like 90% of the Muslim vote, along with the populist left vote. And Keith Ellison essentially only won by 1 point. So it's not like New York where you have to have all the far left, progressive, and liberal people not out and voting. No, it's not like that. It's just you need contributors. You need the moderates on your side, because Jim Schultz, he had moderate vote, but he lost because the populist vote was the populists in the Minneapolis St. Paul metropolitan area were too strong, and too anchored into that area, along with minority groups, young college groups. They're still isolated. Well, I don't say isolated, but anchored for sure in that area. So yes, we would say, okay, get those left wing lunatics out. And you're seeing Donald Trump flipping more minority votes. Is he flipping a lot of minority votes in Minnesota? I don't know. You got to do a black turnout poll in Minnesota. I got to tell you that. Do it in Minnesota, and I'll even strengthen the argument. I mean, Red Eagle Politics is basically calling it. Minnesota's going red. But I, as a Minnesotan, am not ready yet, because unlike Red Eagle Politics and Real American, who are both saying Minnesota is definitely going to flip in November, I'm like, hey, you know what? We got to remember, we are forgetting the state as a trend of 50 years for Democrats. There are ancestral Democrats and just Democrats in general that will vote for Democrat even though it's hurting them. They know it's hurting them, they'll be like, I don't like Biden, but I'm still going to vote for him because I'm a Democrat and that's who I vote for. And that's something we got to remember. That, and there's a lot of Minnesotans that are like that. No matter how diluted it is, people still do that. And a lot of those people are from the cities. Even on the North Coast, it is what it is. But yes, if Donald Trump were to perform his best, he would flip Minnesota for sure. Red Eagle said Donald Trump would flip New Mexico. I remember telling you that. Well, and he's saying that because of the Hispanic vote. I would say, you know what? Biden would get away with New Mexico barely. Probably a 1 to 2 point margin. But he doesn't really need New Mexico. I mean, if he wins the popular vote for Hispanics, he definitely wins New Mexico. But, well, let's just see. Cook political swingometer. We're going to do Hispanic and Latino. Shift it to the right. We're just going to do a majority. Okay, 55% of Hispanics, if 55% of Hispanics were to vote only in favor for Joe Biden, which that is still a double-digit number, New Mexico would flip to Trump by 0.3%. This is probably essentially the reason why he's calling New Mexico for Trump. And that, honestly, he's not wrong. And give it a few weeks, a few months to settle that in, I think that would possibly too. I want to see more of those Hispanic polls. Yeah, more and more polls we're seeing Hispanics are going to the right because they do not like the wokeness in the political party. They don't like the crime. They just don't like the logic. And they're moving to the right. But once again, there were just a little bit, it was a little bit lower than what we were expecting in 2022, right? It was a little bit lower. Well, and that was part of the reason why 2022 was so disappointing. We were like, okay, that wasn't that much Hispanics than we were thinking. So I really believe that we should not downplay the situation. New Mexico has Albuquerque. It also has Democrats in general that once again believe voting Democrats are religion, just like in Minnesota. So yes, let's see. Bringing a Hispanic majority, you would see New Mexico go for Trump by 4.1%. That's insane. And essentially, I do not think Trump's going to win New Mexico by 4 points. That would be obviously the treasure of the race, but we're going to go ahead as of right now say that Biden has a chance, is favored to win New Mexico as of right now. He's probably going to get away with it regardless, even though a majority of the state disapproves him. But does the state approve Donald Trump more? Well, I got to tell you, you got to do more polling on that. We're going to go ahead and call these states. And Nevada, of course, is going to go for Trump. And essentially, this is what our map is going to look like. Let's take a look at Oregon. Oregon, I don't think our CP average is set. Washington. Okay, I think this is our map. This is probably Donald Trump's best performance. He flips New Hampshire. We had New Hampshire, Minnesota, Nevada, and Virginia in the race. But what do you guys think in regards to this prediction? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.